Today, I'm going to be walking you through how I 7x my income, left my 9 to 5 job, and went from making 1.3K a month in a 9 to 5 to making over 10 grand a month, completely self employed, living my dream life. Because I did used to work a 9 to 5. I was an admin officer for a huge FTSE 100 company called Intertech. I had crazy curly hair and I just hated my life. I was working on the traditional 9 to 5 schedule, gym before work, jujitsu after work. And essentially my life was predictable and I wasn't fulfilled and I wasn't happy. Whereas now, I get to work from wherever I want with whoever I want. I get to work on stuff that actually fulfills me. And I'm blessed enough to have found financial freedom, at least enough financial freedom for my family to be provided for and to live a great life. Now, before you listen to anyone on the internet, though, you want to make sure that they're actually someone that's walking the walk and not just talking the talk. So, I actually document all of my, client work, everything that I do inside the results on my Instagram, inside the highlights on my Instagram, sorry. But here's my Stripe. Okay, so month to date, 10.4K. And here's just a screenshot from my bank. So as you can see, the last 4 weeks, from 14th of August to the 14th of September, I think it's the 15th on the day of recording right now. Total in 10.4K, right? So this is actually the numbers within my business. I'm going to show you everything today, everything so you can copy this for yourself and just implement it and scale your own business, right? Because I remember what it was like being this guy, I remember not wanting to go into work and I remember knowing that there must be another way. There was just a lack of information and I didn't know what steps to take. So today I'm going to give you those steps, all right? And the steps start with your offer. It's actually really smart to start with one service, establish yourself, get your foot in the door with a business, and then use that as leverage to upsell to future deals. Those future deals give you more experience. You can put those on your CV and you see that just sort of repeats itself. So for me, I'm a big fan of just nailing one offer first. Okay. That offer needs to make sense to an ideal customer profile. So for me, it's 7 to 8 figure coaches and consultants. Okay. Now, all of these people, they've got a place where they are now and they've got like a desired dream state where they want to get to. Okay. So where are those people right now? For me, they're people that are stuck in their business and they need help scaling their marketing. And obviously, their desired situation, it may be a bunch of different things, but let's be honest, it always comes down to making more money faster and with less stress. And why do they want to do that? So they can be seen as the guy, so that they can have more time with their family. It's like it all comes back down to that wealth, health, and relationships. Now, the way that I do this is through the social sales process. And that's because I use a mix of social media marketing, email marketing to essentially work with personal brands to take organic traffic and convert it. That's my sort of area of specialism. But that's just what I'm doing right now. That's what's been working for me a lot in 2025. Sometimes it looks different, but this is the sort of core offer that I'm going with right now. Now, the pipeline. So how do you get business in? How do you constantly keep this thing flowing? My pipeline looks like three things. Okay. Outbound. So that's your cold outbound, DMs, starting conversations, sending emails, just like me actually outreaching to a business. The next and my favorite is like job applications or gigs, right? You might see these on LinkedIn, you might see these on like groups like NHB on Facebook, but essentially these are people that are telling you they're in the buying window, they're telling you that they're looking for a certain role, they're telling you they've got budget, and so you just submit an application and put yourself in front of these people. Now, I actually think in order for these both to work, you need a good digital presence and you need to be showing people that, again, you're walking the walk, not just talking the talk. And that's done through a personal brand. Okay. In 2025, anyone is going to do their due diligence on you and you need to have some digital presence in order to show that, again, you are a copywriter and you're doing what you say you can do. So that's your pipeline. That's how you keep like conversations happening. That's how you get on calls. That's how we do all of the things. And basically, this is the lifeblood of your business. So this pipeline always needs to be flowing. Now, the next is converting that pipeline, right? And I actually think that conversion is 50% positioning. If you see like these are clients that I'm working with right now. Like this person came to me, wanted help with his Google ads because he saw me as an expert. This person wants to put me forward as a consultant for a tender in an area in the UK. And this person was basically just like, when do you want to get started on this other account? Upsold himself. So all of that, 50% of my converting comes from positioning. I'm already positioned as a premium authority. I'm already positioned as someone they can trust. I'm already positioned as an expert with skills that they can rely on. Okay, so that comes through your personal branding. That comes through your sales assets, right? But 25% of it obviously does come down to your setting and your closing. Now, I teach all of this inside the magnetic client method. So if you'd like to just jump on a quick 15-minute no pressure chat, just check out the link in the description. Shameless plug over, but I genuinely help everyone with scripts and just show you everything you need to know, from taking someone from a DM conversation to closing them on the phone. Now, the final 25% though, is just being professional. How do you turn up? Are you turning up on time? Are you turning up like in nice clothes? Do you have a scattered background? Can you speak like with manners and like actually understand them, listen to them? Like, are you turning up as a professional, or are you turning up a bit sloppy? Because every like touch point that a client has with you showcases what it's like to work with you. So make sure you're turning up as a professional, and you'll separate yourself from 90% of the crap on the market. So that's the conversion, right? Next is onboarding, because what's the point in converting someone if they leave the month after? We want to make sure that we've got an actual process for retaining these people so that we've got longevity within our business. If you just get 1 month of a retainer, it's not a retainer, it's a one-off project. Whereas if you get 12 months of a retainer, that's a yearly salary. So if you get a 2K retainer and you keep it for a year, that's 24K. You can see how this business becomes insanely scalable when you have the right foundations in place. So my onboarding simple. I send them over a progress report. I follow the 10-80-10 rule, which is essentially I don't ask for a lot of stuff at the beginning and at the end. I only ask for the bulk of stuff in the middle of a project with a client. I want it to be simple and seamless on the onboarding and offboarding. I always attack low hanging fruit first to get quick wins, and I'm always over delivering, whether that's with time, whether that's with extra work. I'm making sure that they're seeing that I'm going above and beyond. Okay, now after the onboarding, this is the most crucial part. And this, again, other than the pipeline, is like the backbone and the lifeblood to your business, and that's the results. Okay, now I collect my results in a bunch of different ways. Whenever someone says something nice about me in Slack and they're talking about a result I got, so like here I made them 12K in a week and was their biggest revenue generator, I take a screenshot. Like a client messaged me after we made 46K in a night. This later turned into 100K over 4 days. Took a screenshot, right? Google reviews. This was on a company-wide meeting where they gave me a shout out. Any web, like any registration sign-ups, like anything like that, I'm taking screenshots of. Again, here, when we had a 450K month with one of my clients, I'm making sure that I'm collecting all these results so that I can leverage them. But it's also getting these results for a client that puts you in the position to be able to leverage them. You open yourself to upsells, you open yourself up to referrals. Okay, so getting results is crucial. And the only way you're going to get good results is by having good skills. So this is basically the flywheel you want to get yourself on. You land a client, you focus purely on that client and over delivering. That client turns into results. You then basically leverage those results, get testimonials, and you leverage those testimonials into getting new clients. Okay, so it's a flywheel that just creates this like positive upward spiral, a positive trend that you need to get yourself on. Now, let's just zoom out a little bit, right? Because those results only come when you have an actual proper fulfillment system in place. So for me, my clients get one-on-one access to me, whether that's WhatsApp, whether that's calls. We're actually speaking and they've got constant communication with me. Okay, we've got fulfillment systems to make sure that basically we've got proven results, that it's not going to be one result for one client and the different for another. Like, I have actual systems in place to guarantee the results. And obviously, like data tracking and strategy, you need to be able to look at data, read data, and know what the next move is, how to identify bottlenecks and fix them. Okay, so as you can see, like, I come armed with this stuff when I come to clients, right? Here's a screenshot from my tracker, here's a screenshot from my fulfillment process for my social sales process offer. Okay, all of this stuff is crucial, and most people are skipping that. So we've went over your offer, your pipeline, conversions, how to generate results, but we need to go into the actual numbers, okay? Because everyone's talking about, all the bells and whistles, everyone's giving you a brief overview, but I want to show you like actually behind the curtain and give you a sneak peek of the numbers. You saw the Stripe, you saw the cash collected in my bank. Like, let's break that down, what it actually means, and like the profit margin and stuff. So this month my revenue is on 15K, however the cash collected is 10.4K, because I've got some revenue left to collect over the next couple of months, locking in business for myself and making it more stable for me, guaranteeing income for me and my family. However, of this cash collected, there are costs, right? I've got processors like Stripe, I've got tools like Notion, Miro, the thing that you're looking at right now, and obviously like education on coaches and stuff, because I still learn from someone, I'm still growing, I'm still actively investing in my like career and trying to become a better copywriter, trying to become a better service provider. So all of these things, they come with a cost. And so I'm actually running right now around a 90% profit margin, right? So that's what allows me to live this beautiful life. That's what allows me to eat nice food, drink nice coffee, take my girlfriend out on nice dates. I live by the beach anyway, so life's pretty much a bit of a holiday. And obviously, I've got a beautiful house and I really like the car I drive. So all of that comes from all of these things we spoke about today, all of the systems, right? But what's more important than that is, oh, Miro's having a little jump around. But what I find more important than all of this is basically the goals I set for my business. Because what's the point in making money if you're not enjoying it, right? And so the goals I had with my business was that it was a freedom-based business. I needed location freedom, I needed financial freedom, I needed time freedom, and I wanted my skills to be transferable, right? Because who knows what's coming 10 years down the line. I want to be able to build bigger businesses. I want this to be like one skill that's a part of my empire, right? And copywriting is that. Copywriting, marketing, sales, they all sort of do this weird tandem with each other. And if you can just get a little bit of these skills, just even one of them, or some from all of them, then great, because it's going to transfer over into future businesses. Now, I also needed this business to be fulfilling, because when I was here, life wasn't fulfilling and I wasn't happy to wake up and go dedicate hours to work. So I needed to be in a position where I actually enjoyed Mondays. All right. Now, look, I've been around the copywriting industry and I know it actually sucks. I've been mugged off by mentors. I've spent a bunch of money that I didn't need to spend, so I've seen it from the other side, right? But I actually love this game, despite all of that, despite knowing what's out there. I want to be a force for good in this game and actually change it for the better. And the way I'm going to do that is by helping 1,000 copywriters do exactly what I did, right? So I want to help anyone else that actually loves the game, not that's just here for this, like, transactional money, that actually loves the game, because I want you to live a life that you look forward to waking up to. Okay. Now, if you're so serious and you want to scale your copywriting business, you love the game, and you want to jump on a quick 15-minute no pressure call to see how we can work with each other and scale your business by just downloading everything we spoke about today, then just book that in. The link's in the description. As you can see, I've got a bunch of testimonials from my other channels, so go check that out as well. But other than that, make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe, and take care, because I'm going to be doing a lot more videos like this, and I will catch you in the next one.